I hope you're not waking up to a tree full of toilet paper this morning. Last night was Devil's Night, or at least it used to be when I was a kid. The night before Halloween was Devil's Night. It was a night of harmless mischief in the neighborhood. You'd head out with your buddies after dark and pull a few pranks that made everyone laugh. Nobody got hurt and nobody got arrested. We'd start with classics like Ding Dong Ditch. That's where you ring the doorbell and then run like crazy and hide in the bushes while the poor neighbor stood there looking confused. As we got older, we graduated to something a little more sophisticated called penny tapping. You'd tape a coin to a long piece of sewing thread, stick it to the window by someone's front door, and unwind the thread 100 yards or so down the block. Then you'd hide behind a tree and tug on the string a little bit so the coin gently tapped against the glass, making a noise. The neighbor would hear that noise, open the door, look around, and see nobody. And just as they were about to go back inside, you'd tap, tap, tap again. They would do this about 2 or 3 times before they actually figured out that there was a penny taped to their window. And by then you had a full block head start to run away. Sometimes we would toss a few rolls of toilet paper over a tree. But I'm going to admit, it's a real pain for whoever has to clean it up the next morning. So I don't really suggest toilet paper on Devil's Night anymore. But there were rules. We had serious rules about no eggs. That was sacred. Eggs could ruin paint on a car or a house, and that crossed the line. So there was an unspoken code: mischief, not malice. And you know what? There is a real bonding in those nights, running from porch lights, laughing till your stomach hurt, just sharing stories at school the next day about what you did. They became the kind of memories that stick with you for life. Then came Halloween night, and it was simple back then, it seemed. Really perfect. You threw on your baseball jersey or your football uniform, maybe something from your closet, grabbed a pillowcase and hit the streets. If you were lucky, you filled that pillowcase halfway up with candy. One year I went as a golfer and carried an empty golf bag instead and filled it up. It worked great. It was just simple. It was real fun. You dump the candy on the floor and start trading. 2 Almond Joys for a Snickers, 3 Tootsie Rolls for a Reese's Cup. It wasn't just about the sugar. It was about the strategy, the art of the deal, if you will. Today, it's different. Devil's Night is gone. After those terrible fires in Detroit years ago, the city turned Devil's Night into Angel's Night, and volunteers patrol to keep the peace. And Halloween, more daylight, less danger, I think. You've got the trunk or treat in the parking lots and the school parties more so, instead of the roaming the neighborhoods at night asking for candy. Maybe safer. Yeah, probably safer, but maybe a little less magical too. Still, I hope the kids out there tonight make their own memories. It's a Friday night Halloween. Nothing was more special growing up than when Halloween fell on a Friday or Saturday night. It was the absolute best. So if you're heading out, grab a pillowcase this year instead of a plastic bucket. It might make some old timers like me smile and maybe even earn you a few extra pieces of candy. Happy Halloween.